Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell funny stories from my past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. So recently, it was my birthday. I'm born on New Year's Eve. 41 years old now. I know I don't look it. You can keep that to yourself. But you know what? I get asked all the time about what it's like being born on New Year's Eve. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. And I've known several other people who were born on New Year's Eve, and they agree. It sucks. I mean, first of all, you get the same questions every time somebody finds out that you're born on New Year's Eve. Like, the first question you always get is, "Oh, were you almost a New Year's baby?" And in my case, no. I was born somewhere around 10 o'clock in the morning. And again, it's not just me. I've met several other people who were born on New Year's Eve, and they all get the same questions. And whether they were born pretty close to being a New Year's baby or not, we get a follow-up question. "Oh, couldn't you have just waited until midnight?" Yeah, I get that, again, even though I told them I was born in the morning. I was born in the AM. Yet I still get asked, couldn't you have just waited till midnight? And I've answered, in my case, I was an emergency C-section because my mother ended up in a 24-hour coma, and I ended up in an incubator for 2 weeks because my lungs collapsed. So, I'm going to say no, I couldn't have waited until midnight. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be born that day. I was supposed to be born late February. I will say this, the closest I've heard to somebody being born on New Year's, because of the fact that this is the closest, I actually remember he told me the exact time he was born. He was born New Year's Eve at 11:37. And he said yes, he's had people ask him, "You couldn't wait 23 minutes?" Now, I know people are trying to be cute, but it's not cute. It's just stupid and annoying. Because first of all, there's no say in when the baby finally comes. Especially knowing this as a father of 3 who's been there with my wife as she's had 3 kids. There is no waiting a few more minutes. When the baby's ready to come, it comes. And here's the thing about the mother. When the baby's ready to come, they're not going to fight it either. They would not care if it was 11:59. They're not going to sit there and try to hold out for 1 more minute. By that point, they want the baby out. Because trust me, as somebody who's been with a woman who's had 3 children, there are very few people in this world more miserable than a woman who is ready to give birth. Like pregnant women a couple weeks before it, like throughout the entire pregnancy, there's misery throughout it. The last few weeks, they are so miserable. They are so done. They just want that baby out of them. So nobody's going to try to make them wait 23 more minutes. But I guarantee you, if there was some stupid nurse there who was sitting there like, "Oh, it's almost midnight. Can you hold out for 23 minutes? The reaction they would get would be something like,
23 more minutes.
"Oh, I ain't exaggerating." Because like I said, they're done. They're ready for this kid to come out. Because people, you don't understand, pregnancy is not like you see on television where they're at home and they're like, "Oh, my water broke and we got to get to the hospital right now because I'm going to give birth in like 5 minutes. It's not how it works. It's actually a very long process. Like of the 3 births my wife had, the shortest one, she was in labor for about 12 hours. That was the shortest. The longest was our first. She was in labor for 23 and a half hours. If you want to get technical, the longest was actually the second. Because for 8 straight days, we were in and out of the hospital being told, "Oh, you're going to come back any minute now because this baby's almost ready." This went on for 8 days. Contraction dilating, all that stuff. 8 days before it finally came out. And heck, even with the third one, that was the quickest one. Again, about 12 hours. But it also kept doing this stuff where they came in and they'd be like, "Oh, any minute now, it's going to need to be pushed." And then they'd come back in a few minutes and, "Oh, guess not. He went back inside." The first one, the one that took 23 and a half hours, that was a little miraculous because at the 23-hour mark, they told my wife, "Look, it's getting dangerous. If he doesn't come out in an hour, we're going to do an emergency C-section." 30 minutes later, she finally gave birth. Which is funny because it's kind of translated into their lives. The oldest, he waits until the last minute to do everything. The middle, he's ridiculously slow at everything he does. And the third, he's very, very stubborn. But still, again, a woman's not going to fight a couple more minutes. They don't care. They just want it out. The only thing I think more miserable than a woman at the end of her pregnancy is a woman who's past due. I've only met a few of them, and they are the most miserable people in the world. Like, I knew one that she was 11 days late. My wife straight up said, "I would have gone in there with a gun and said, 'You're inducing me now.'" But then the second thing we have to hear from every dumb person who finds out that we're born on New Year's, we also tell them how, it kind of sucks being born on New Year's Eve, and they try to throw out a reason it's not. If you think about it, everyone in the whole world is celebrating your birthday. You're stupid! Seriously, that is a stupid way to think about it. They're not all celebrating my birthday, they're celebrating the actual holiday. People don't celebrate when they have no idea what's going on. Well, except Cinco de Mayo. And St. Patrick's Day. And Labor Day. It seems most people who celebrate those have no idea what they're about. But they know it's a holiday. There's no weird person out there going like, I'm just celebrating somebody I don't even know's random birthday. Woo! That would be stupid. Especially because if they were going to do that, then they'd be celebrating literally every day. Because literally every day, it's somebody's birthday. So if they're really saying that they're celebrating because it's some random person they don't know's birthday, they're just making an excuse because they're an alcoholic.
Beers!
And I think the third annoying thing we all hear is, well, at least you get presents a week after Christmas. Do I? Because here's the thing. This one, it can go back and forth. I've met some New Year's Eve kids that, yeah, they did. And I've met some that, like me, no, they didn't. I never got presents on my birthday. All I got on my birthday was the same excuse every year. We tried so hard, but we accidentally overspent on Christmas. That was my present every year. Even though when I turned 12, it finally occurred to me and I gave them the idea, okay, since you always overspend while Christmas shopping, then why don't you try this? Why don't you just buy a present or two while you're Christmas shopping and wait a week to give it to me? And they said they would try that, but then the year after, when they still didn't, they gave me this excuse. If we were to get you a couple of presents while we were Christmas shopping, that would mean that you and your brother would get a couple less presents on Christmas. My brother heard this. He wasn't really in the conversation, but he overheard, and he walked in and straight up said, that's fine. He actually said to them, I wouldn't care if I got a present or two less if he got to have a birthday. So they said, fine, next year we'll do that. But instead I just got the same excuse I always got, that they overspent on Christmas. And the other thing I would hear every year is, we're going to celebrate your birthday in a couple of months. Now here's the thing, for many years I fell for that, until I started realizing something. Every year at some point I would go like, hey, when are we going to celebrate my birthday? And I would hear that we already did, remember? When they did some big family thing where they took us to Toys R Us, let us buy a couple of things, and then went to Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. They'd say that was for my birthday, but then it started dawning on me. That was tax season, and yeah, they'd do something like that. Like, if it's not Toys R Us, they'd take us somewhere fun. Like when we lived in California, we'd go to Magic Mountain or something. But then I started throwing it out there. That wasn't celebrating my birthday. That was us doing a family day. Because ultimately, if that was supposed to be for my birthday, then my brother shouldn't have gotten exactly everything I got. So then I started getting the extra present of, you are selfish, you are materialistic, and you don't appreciate anything. So that started becoming the 3 presents I got every year. Excuses, meaningless promises, and being made to feel like a jerk. I also would get this from my dad. I hope you never know what it's like to have a child born so close to Christmas. Well, his wish didn't come true, but you know what? I kind of said I do want that to happen. And it did. 3 times. I will say, I didn't want it to go like that, but you know what? It happened. My kids' birthdays line up each month. My oldest is born in late January, about a month after Christmas. My middle was born 2 days before Christmas. My youngest was born at the end of November. Because of the fact that Thanksgiving isn't the same day every year, we've actually done the math, and every 4 years his birthday will be Thanksgiving. So think about that for a second. Right after Halloween, we got Thanksgiving, then my youngest son's birthday. For a little added thing there, my wife and I, we got married early December. Then I got my middle kid's birthday. Then I got Christmas. My birthday, we don't really do anything because I'm an adult and that's just adulting. And then right after, we got my oldest son's birthday. And some of you may be going like, well, now you must understand your parents. No. Because my oldest is about to be 13. And we've already got his presents. Which will mean that 13 years he has never gone without his birthday. My middle just turned 10. 10 years he has never gone without his birthday, despite the fact that it's 2 days before Christmas. My youngest just turned 5. 5 years he has never gone without a birthday. Now, I understood that they couldn't throw me a big, huge party. I can't do that for them either. I can't afford 3 big parties that close together. So a couple of times we've just done something big somewhere around all their birthdays and said, yes, this is like a joint thing. But their actual birthdays, they get presents, they get cake, and they get a special dinner. Growing up, sometimes I got a cake. And with my middle kid, what we do is exactly what I suggested to my parents. We go Christmas shopping, and while we're doing that, we buy a couple of presents for him. Has that meant that some years when we're really struggling, and I mean really struggling because we're always struggling around that time of year, it's rough for us. Does that mean they've gotten a couple less presents on Christmas? Sure. But whatever. That's not what Christmas is about. That is what your birthday is about. It's about celebrating that you're here. That somebody we care about is alive and was born and is in our lives. And I've even asked my middle kid, because his birthday is so close to Christmas, do you ever feel like your birthday is overshadowed by Christmas? And he told me no. He said he feels lucky because he gets presents on his birthday. Then the next day he gets to open his Christmas Eve present. And then the next day he gets Christmas. So he gets 3 straight days of presents. The other 2 are a little jealous of him. I guess the moral of this is if you have a kid born that close to Christmas or any holiday, all it takes is a little effort. But that little effort can mean the world to them. So there you have it. That's my story video this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment. If you were born near or on a holiday, tell me how it affected you. Love you guys.